everybody. I hope that you're all doing well. The first card that we have out is the Tower. Oh, wow. I'm seeing Tower, but I'm also seeing Eight of Cups on the bottom of the deck. With this can mean like very abruptly exiting a situation. It can be abruptly leaving. It can be something like your coworker didn't tell you that they're going to be leaving and just all of a sudden they're going to a different job but nobody knew. Or it can be something having to do with a relationship and there being an exit from that. If this is, you can be on either side of this. You can be like getting news of somebody very abruptly stepping away from something. This would definitely be something that is in alignment to be happening, because with the Tower is going to be a sudden correction. So this will be something where it allows for there to be an actual chance at finding a sense of balance, where if this was not something that was being addressed, it wouldn't be like that. We wouldn't be giving things really the chance to be able to have the proper reset that they need. And so it would be kind of like putting an effort and nothing's really going anywhere because we're not breaking something down enough or we're not using the right pieces. So whether this be somebody abruptly saying, I'm not going to be doing this anymore. This looks like a separation of some sort that I'm seeing be happening with this. And having Eight of Cups, it really does feel like, I think that this has been going on for longer, but with the Tower there, it can be that maybe nothing was mentioned about it, or maybe like nobody really saw this coming. But I kind of feel like in retrospect, it would feel kind of obvious. This can also mean too that you can be abruptly separating, you can be abruptly leaving something, but this doesn't just come about and you're just being, if this is your energy, you're not being impulsive. I'm seeing this be more so like, I'm really not happy here, I'm really not happy with this, or I do not feel connected and I want to feel connected and I'm not going to find that here, and so I'm going to move away from this. I'm going to go like look for what I want to connect with on a deeper level. So there can be just sudden acceptance of something, there can be sudden realizations, and then that can mean like very sudden moves that are made where it's kind of like, oh, it finally clicks for me and I need to do this right now. That will be the feeling with this. Whether this is you or this is the other person. But there is something about this being sudden, and for those around, it may feel unexpected. I am seeing the Empress. This can be like, all of a sudden, I get my power back. All of a sudden, I make the move. Having the Empress there, this is really going to channel an energy where if you had not been feeling empowered, if you had been feeling disconnected, if you had been feeling like things were not moving or working the way that they needed to, this can be like a sudden call that's made. Having the Empress after is like, this connects you back with the Empress energy. You doing this now, it connects you back with that. And your Empress energy is when you're going to be like top of the line in your best, most empowered place. Like this is about, Empress is the potential and allowing ourselves to connect with the possibilities and the potential of what we can be experiencing, and even ways that we can be channeling our energy. So whatever this is, this was what we needed to do in order to unblock ourselves so we could step into embracing that energy. So whatever wasn't allowing you to be in your Empress energy, this is going to be the dissolution of those things, the breaking down of those things. Feel this very unstoppable feeling from this. It's like you don't want to be held back anymore. You don't want to be feeling stuck anymore. That doesn't mean you would have picked this or would have preferred this, but it can mean that you know this is what you needed to do. I feel too like you can be looking back and being like, why didn't I do this sooner? That's also something with this. You know when just something goes on for a long time and you want to do something about it, but you don't do anything about it, and you just feel like the time is passing and you're like, why didn't I do this yesterday? Or why didn't I do this 5 years ago? I feel you being in one of those places where it's like, this is a huge win for you that you took action here within this situation. But there's also this feeling of, well, now that I'm feeling so good in this moment, and now that I'm feeling connected with my energy in a way that I had been like trying to connect with this whole time, now that I'm finally in this energy again, I'm looking and feeling like, why did I spend my time, like, why did I prolong this for so long? Because now I'm feeling so good, like I could have been feeling like this all along. So there's something about having to reconcile, I think, with that part of things, with maybe how long it took for you to get to this point. I'm not saying that this is a thing, but I think for you it can be a thing, right? Because like we stay in situations for as long as we need to until what we've learned from it is completed, and then we move on to the next thing. So you can be just, you know, you were there as long as you needed to be. Now is the time that you don't need to be there anymore, so you're breaking away, but it can still be like, why didn't I do this sooner? I'm definitely getting a feeling of that. And it's like kind of melancholy because you feel good now and you're like, this is amazing, but also too, you're like, I could have been feeling like this, and it took all of this in order for that to happen. But I really do feel like all of a sudden, I don't know how exactly this happens, but it's like you got your power back. That means too that your initiative is back as well. You're not just waiting around. This is about you doing things. This is about you taking action. This is about you responding to life in maybe ways that you had been more sedentary before. I'm seeing something going up in smoke. That chapter is closed out. Having Tower in the World is like, you are finished with that now. All of this just to empower yourself. You could have really found yourself through this process, though. That's also very important, too. There can be a lot that you learned about your values. There can be a lot that you learned about yourself. There can be a lot that you learned about what feels like support versus what knocks you down. What actually encourages and supports the best in you versus what brings out maybe the worst in you. That can also be something that's been connected with and understood through this process as well. Having the Tower in the World is like, I'm done having to go through towers in this situation anymore. Like, this was the last of it. I'm finished with that. I'm seeing Saturn and Mars and Venus all connected with one another. It feels too like this is the final correction of something, where if you had been, I'm getting something about succeedent. If you had been experiencing multiple towers in a given situation, having the world there feels like this is the last one. So maybe just something happened enough time that you were like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not going to do this again. But it's just like it had to happen so many times maybe. Because I just get the feeling intuitively like this wasn't the first tower that you experienced, but it's the last one in this situation. Because now that you've arrived in the energy of the Empress, like now that you're channeling that energy, now that you have opened your chakras and this is where you are, you won't be manifesting another tower again in this situation, because when you're in your Empress energy, you don't manifest towers. Not these kinds. So it really does feel like it's like building where you're not supposed to be building because you're like not using the right material, whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, and so it keeps falling down. And it's like you had to get to the point where you were like, I see that it's me. I see that it's me trying to build something that it doesn't work, and it's not the universe punishing me. It's that I need to understand how these laws work. So I'm using the right material to build what I want. And this can be the final straw where you're like, I'm understanding now at this point. I'm getting the pattern now that if I keep doing this, it's going to keep leading to a tower again and again and again. And it's like it just finally clicks where you're like, this isn't going to happen again. I'm getting it now. It's like you learn the lesson of this. which is really profound. It's really amazing. And it's like, that's what this whole situation was meaning to reveal to you. But you can also still be dealing with that feeling of like, I'm still learning to let go of this idea that I was going to build here with this, and that was going to work and turn into this type of structure. There's still something going on here where you're coming to terms with that part of things. So even though this realization has been made, you can still feel disappointed because it's like, well, I know that it's not going to work, but I'm still letting go of the expectation that I had that it would, or I'm still just coming to terms with the reality of this. So even though you are totally tuned in and connected to the reality, there's still going to be that making peace with it. Wow. I'm seeing this be so big for you within your life. Like, I feel almost this, you are going to be able to just, like, the world is just gonna let you be now. This is the next cycle that you are stepping into. Like, things can progress now, things can be smooth, things can move forward in a way that they had not been before. Because I'm seeing something that just felt really destructive, a destructive situation, which we need that, right? Like, we have to have the destruction to then reconstruct properly, and then we can regenerate the energy, doing it the way that it's supposed to be done, according to the laws of the universe. That's what I mean when I say supposed to. It's like the universe isn't going to let you peacefully build something that doesn't go together, because it's not how it works. You can't fit those pieces together. So this is a moment where this next chapter that you're starting, because you're closing this out now, this next chapter that you're starting with the World and Six of Swords, is that what you needed to understand about this has now been understood. I'm seeing this very bright, like pink orange color, kind of like neon. And having Six of Swords is about things getting better. So it's like this next chapter that you're starting, things really are going to be better. Like, your tower is over here. Things can move forward. Seeing Justice on the bottom of the deck, things have come back into a place of correction and balance. But yeah, I'm still seeing some disappointment where it's like just coming to terms with this being the way that things are. You're moving towards the Six of Pentacles. So something was just out of balance majorly. What this means is that somewhere where you were showing up and you were exchanging energy, it wasn't compatible enough to be sustainable. There wasn't enough reciprocity there. So even though you can still be coming to terms, like, I wish that there was, I wish that this would have been reciprocal, I wish that this would have been functional, I wish that this would have been sustainable, even though you can be feeling that with the Five of Cups, there's an understanding that it's not. So there's very much a coming to terms here. And you are learning as well with the World and Empress and Six of Pentacles here. This is like a Saturn-Venus lesson that you are learning, where Saturn is like, you're not going to feel empowered unless you're in reciprocal situations. You're not going to feel empowered unless your values that you are aligning with are empowering ones. And if you keep allowing for less, it's just going to reinforce this idea that you're not worthy. And so it's going to be one of these that has to do with really what it feels good to experience and where exactly you are going to connect with that and find that. And also it feels like in this situation where you're not going to find that. And having Three of Cups on the bottom of the deck too, I really get the sense that things are coming together. This feels like a time where it's like, technically this is a win for you, but it can feel like a bit of a loss because you feel disappointed. And you can feel sad that something didn't work out in the way that you wanted it to, yet you gained a type of understanding about yourself and the situations that you're in and of your values in a way that is immeasurable even and priceless. So yeah, definitely a big coming to terms here. I get the sense as well that this situation that you had been in, it feels like it took a lot of layers off of you. Like your layers kept getting peeled back again and again and again and again until you got to the bare bones of what your values truly are. But there could have been a lot of stuff that had to be unpacked that was associated with this. And I feel like every tower in this relationship or in this situation that you went through, it like peeled back a layer, and then you went through another tower and then it peeled back a layer, and then you went through another one and it peeled back a layer, and it just feels like repeatedly that's what was happening until you could see the actual values without all of the projecting and all of the internalizing and all of the that's not mine but I'm saying it's mine. This takes everything off of that till you get to the bare bones structure of what your Venus energy really is about. And that's going to be what you're going to enjoy at the end of the day, what you actually want, what you feel attracted to, what you want to receive as well, what you have that is precious and how you want it to be treated, how you want to be treated. Your love languages are also connected with this too. Your worth. But it's not only about your worth, this is also about what works with your energy versus what doesn't, right? Because some of us want certain relationships that look a certain way and we'll feel very happy with that. Others of us, that would be our worst nightmare. So this is about understanding your specific values, your specific desires, your specific compatibilities. All just to get to this point. So I feel like this is a major arrival that you have come to. And now this last piece of what was standing in the way between you realizing that is getting knocked down. So it's just like nothing's left except this, and you have a full, clear understanding. You're moving forward, but you can definitely still feel that, like, if only, or like, I wish that it could have. There's definitely like that little feeling here, but you also know that you're where you're going. It's just things are going to be so much better now. And I also, with Three of Cups, I feel like you have some really major support going through this as well. And if you don't fully feel tapped into that, that can be something very much that you're developing moving forward. There can be some type of system emotionally that is going to be emotionally, energetically, that is going to be developed and being more so developed. So whether you already feel like you have support or you want to develop support, whatever it is, it's just going to, if you already have it, it will enhance the sense of support and connectivity. If you don't feel like you're totally there in the ways that you want to be supported, this can be a time when you're going to move into a space of getting to develop that now. That's where you're moving. And you're going to have an easier time. I'm seeing ravioli here. You're going to have an easier time understanding when you connect with anything, be it a person, be it a path, be it a career, whatever it is, you're gonna catch feelings, you're gonna catch vibes about it immediately of whether that's gonna work or not. It's like you're gonna be better at like sniffing out when there's gonna be tension and you're gonna have to work something when it may not work, and then also when something may easily be compatible and work together. You're getting much better at understanding when you're going into something, what your immediate vibe is of it, what maybe red or green flags are that you see, and it's going to help you understand what that situation is going to be about and if you want to take that on or not. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.